So you can't just have a mentor. You've got to be willing to follow that mentor. So from becoming a mess, my journey of being a mess to becoming a master, well, it starts off with mentorship. And specifically, I'm talking about the martial arts here. I had to get a martial arts mentor. But then also, by the way, when I started in business, I mean, I tell you, I got me a mentor. And by the way, now I'm considered a grandmaster, not just in the martial arts, grandmaster and a master in home-based business. My wife and I were blessed to build a team of over 13,000 people. I built another team, by the way, of 22,000 people. And by the way, that company, I was earning within 4.5 months, we were earning 6 figures a month, and they paid every week. So that was 25 grand a week. So how many of y'all know that was a good week? Say that's a good week.
That's a good week.
So anyway, so then we went on, by the way, as a matter of fact, not long ago, 6.5 years ago, I got started with a company. They hired me as their international training director, and I liked what they were doing. And we ended up building as well. And I was able to personally sponsor 898 people over a 6.5 year period. And that blossomed into a team of 1.5 million people. Now with that company, my best day was 22 grand in one day. And I tell you, my friend, it's just incredible. Matter of fact, it was so crazy. Now you're looking at the guy and listening to a guy I never thought I could have a team of 100,000. And one day we had over 100,000 people join our business, and it was shut down the whole server. The server couldn't even handle it. It shut down the whole server. I mean, that's a good problem to have. But I'm saying this. But you're talking about the guy who's a mess. You're talking about the guy that I didn't tell you when I was 6 years of age, I was jumped by a gang of teenagers. I grew up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania in the ghettos, and I was jumped by a gang of teenagers, and I was a 6-year-old boy. They beat me up, slammed me on the ground, stomped all over me, kicked all over me. As a matter of fact, by the time I'm bleeding from everywhere you could bleed, you would think that was enough. By the way, it ought to take one teenager to beat up a 6-year-old boy, not a whole gang of them. And I'm screaming, I'm hollering out, of course, crying out for my mom, crying out for help. And again, bleeding from everywhere you could bleed. They kicked all over me, stomped all over me. And then one guy flipped me over where I was laying on my back, faced up, and they took a bucket of tar, poured it on my face, poured it on my body. They took a bunch of feathers, they threw them on me, and they left me there out in the middle of the field, literally to die. Thank God somebody found me, rushed me to the hospital. But I'm telling you, when I say my life was a mess, my life was a mess. I'm saying, listen, went through not just the physical abuse, but racial abuse. I went through verbal abuse and different physical abuse. One of my mom's boyfriend beat me with a choker chain for a dog, fiberglass, bow and arrow set. I mean, man, matter of fact, my life was so jacked up, went through not just the physical abuse and racial abuse, sexual abuse. Matter of fact, I tried to commit suicide on 2 occasions, and I always tell my audiences, I'm glad I failed, because see, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And in my hopeless situation, thinking I'll never amount to be anything, guess what, my friend? I was wrong. And I'm telling you, you might think you can never build a big business. You're wrong. You might think you can never be mastering it. No, you're wrong. I'm telling you, I don't care how bad things are for you right now. You're listening to a guy the thing was terrible and bad. But guess what, my friend? I started breaking through. And I'm telling you, the only difference between you and the people you respect is, guess what? They've had more breakthroughs than you. So I learned this secret. Barriers weren't made to stop me. Barriers were made to be broken. And when you break through the barriers, my friend, then it gives you more strength. Then you can break through the next barrier and the next barrier and the next barrier. So number one is going to take mentorship. Help me out. If you're going to go from being a mess to a master, number one, it takes what? Mentorship. Number two, it's going to take a mental shift. Number two is going to take a what? Mental shift. See, here's what the beautiful thing about a mentor. A mentor will help you to get your mind off of what's not going right. Because I don't know about you. How many of you are like me? When things aren't going right, it seems like you just keep thinking about that more and more and more. And then it seems like it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, right? I mean, and guess what, my friend? The mentor is great at helping you to have a mental shift, to shift away from what you don't have, to shift on to what you want. Because as long as you think, about what you don't have, guess what? The more you get of it. The more you start focusing on what you want, as a matter of fact, I almost thought about changing my name from Dr. Breakthrough to Dr. Break2. Let me explain why. I was praying one day and I said, Lord, I don't understand why so many people want a breakthrough and they pray for a breakthrough. They desire a breakthrough, and many of them deserve the breakthrough. Why don't they ever get it? Now, I didn't hear an audible voice, but it was like he spoke to my spirit and it hit me because they focused too much on what they want to break through. And I was like, okay. Said, no, you got to focus on what you want to break to. And it hit me because I've been teaching for years, what you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. And what you talk about the longest becomes the strongest. And what do most people think about and most people talk about? Their struggles, their problems, their heartaches. And guess what? It just keeps getting bigger. And so a mentor is going to help you on purpose to stop focusing. Matter of fact, when I mentor people, and by the way, people pay me $500 an hour to mentor them, but the first thing they want to do is tell me about all their problems. I'm like, stop. I don't need to hear that. They're like, excuse me, but don't you need to know? No, I don't need to know that. Here's where I need to know. What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to happen? And sometimes they struggle. And matter of fact, I ask people this question: what do you want in your life? And you know, the first thing that about 80% of people say to me, well, I'll tell you what I don't want. I'm like, no. You got it all mixed up. I didn't ask you what you didn't want. I said, what do you want in your life? And the first thing they can think of is what they don't want. So is it any imagination now why they keep getting more of what they don't want? Because that's all they can think about. So number one is going to take mentorship, but number two, a mental shift. And you've got to learn the principle of breaking two. It's like when I break bricks. You see the picture of me breaking bricks. I don't focus on breaking the bricks. I focus on getting my hand 3 inches or breaking 3 inches below the bricks. And if I break the spot 3 inches below the bricks, everything between where my hand is and where I'm putting my hand gets broken. And guess what? Every single time without fail, if I've messed off of my focus and I fell back into trying to break the brick, sometimes 4 or 5 or 6 are break. But guess what? Every time I focus on breaking my hand 3 inches below, it always breaks. And when I teach people, like in California 2 weeks ago, and I called out in the audience, how many of you have never broken a board? And people raise their hand. Okay, how many of you, not only you've never broken a board, but you know you can't break a board, raise the other hand. And so they raised both hands. I said, everybody with both hands, stand up and come up here. And they were like, no, wait, you didn't hear what we raised our hand, meaning we didn't break a board, we never broken one, and we know we can't break one. I said, I know. That's why I need you, because if I can show you how to break this board, I'm going to show you that you can break through anything in life. And guess what? Every single person, we taught them a few principles, and guess what? They broke through the board, and the main thing I taught them was this. They have to focus on breaking 3 inches below. And I put my hand and said, just hit my hand. Forget the board. Hit my hand. And I taught them a few other things, and they all did that. And my friend, and that's what you have to have. So let's move on real quick. Time is moving on. Next thing, it's going to take misery. Now, I know y'all don't want to hear this, but if you're going to become a master, and I'm telling you, it's going to take some misery. In other words, you're going to have to come outside your comfort zone. In other words, it may take a little bit of pain. And like I said, mentors sometimes seem like tormentors until they get you to become an implementer. And a lot of people aren't willing to do the pain, but remember, we've all said it, without no pain, no gain. And so listen, my friend, in the martial arts, they told us this: if while you practice, you don't want to quit, you haven't really practiced. So you're supposed to work out till the body says, I had enough. And you say, no, keep on going. Your will says, no, keep going. And I'm telling you, I had to learn to do that in business, my friend. And I'm telling you, if you are willing to take these steps to get mentorship, to get a mental shift, and then number 3, to go through some misery. See, my friend, watch this. You got to be willing to be bad long enough to get good. Ooh, let me say that again. You got to be willing to be bad or feel bad for as long as it takes to get good. And so you're not going to feel good about yourself. But guess what, my friends? You're going to go through a little bit of misery. Hey, what about that caterpillar, that ugly caterpillar? Guess what? It's going to metamorphosize and become a beautiful butterfly. But before that happens, he's got to go in the cocoon. Wait a minute, the dark place, the cocoon. the lonely place, the cocoon, the seemingly impossible to get out of place. But guess what? After he struggles and pushes and wiggles and pushes, and after a while, the blood causes now the body to start forming from all the struggle, and out pops a beautiful butterfly that is no longer stuck on being on the ground, but now he flows freely through the sky. And I'm telling you, my friend, if you want to master this business, if you want to master life, if you want to you're going to have to go through some misery. So, my friend, you got to be willing to endure. Number 3 is you got to go through the misery, okay? Number 4, let's go. Well, wait a minute. I asked you about number 1. You said mentorship. Number 2, mentorship. Number 3 is what?
Misery.
Misery, yeah, misery. Y'all didn't hardly want to say that one. I don't want to say it either, but you got to. But the ones who are going to be the most successful are the ones who are willing to go through the misery. I can tell you, my friend, it's not always going to be miserable. Come on, somebody. See, it's not always going to be a terrible day. By the way, the word storm, S-T-O-R-M, write that down, storm. Here's what it stands for. Because many of you, maybe you're going through a storm right now in your finances. You might be going through a storm right now in your business. You might be going through a storm right now in your relationship. But storm, S-T-O-R-M, storm stands for something that only remains momentarily. Storm. All righty. So you got to be willing to go through the misery. Next thing real quick, number 4, if you're going to go from being a mess to a master, you're going to have to learn some methods. Some methods. Say that with me. Methods. I spelled it wrong, didn't I? Methods. Okay. You could have a couple doctor's degrees and still misspell something. I'll fix that after this is over. Okay, so methods. So here's what happens. I tell people all the time, you can't prove that something doesn't work. You can only prove that you didn't work it right. Oh, come on, somebody. You can't prove that something doesn't work. You can just prove you didn't work it long enough. Hello, somebody.
Yep.
You can't prove something doesn't work. You can only prove you're not working, period. See, here's what I'm saying, my friend. Nothing works until you do. So you've got to understand it's going to take some methods, and that's why I'm so glad for those of you showing up at this event so you can learn some different methods and tools and techniques and tips and systems, my friend, because that's what's going to help you on your road to going from being a mess or mediocre to becoming a master. Real quick, number 5 is going to take your mouth. Everybody say mouth.
Mouth.
That means you're going to have to learn to say some stuff. Muhammad Ali said something that is one of the best quotes I've ever heard in my life. Most people heard the first part, but they didn't hear the second part. Here's what he said. He said, I said I was the greatest. Everybody heard that, but that's not the best part of the quote. Most people never heard the rest of it, and the rest of it is the best of it. Would you like to hear the rest of it, of this quote? Yes, yeah. Say yes.
Yes.
Okay. He said, I said I was the greatest a long time before I even believed it. Wow. Let me say it again. He said, I said that I was the greatest a long time before I ever believed it. In other words, he figured out what he wanted. He said, okay, I don't believe I'm the greatest, but I want to be the greatest. So he figured out what he wanted, and he said, I'm going to start saying it even though I don't see it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say it long enough until one day I see it. And so here's the key, my friend. You've got to learn to use your mouth. It's called affirmations and declarations. It's called, you got to learn to use that mouth that God gave you. Okay, let's have true confession time. How many of you, like me, have talked yourself out of things that you wanted to do in life? Raise your hand and say, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's me.
I mean, and maybe sometimes you didn't say it out loud, but in your mind you started saying, well, maybe that thing won't work. Well, and isn't it amazing how many people, and we learn to say, well, what if? And we usually mean it, well, what if it doesn't work? Well, what if, the last business I tried didn't work? What if this one doesn't work? And what if nobody wants to join? And what if and what if, and what if, and what if? And we start using our mouth and we start saying these things, my friend, and we don't know how it's affecting our mind, affecting our spirit. And so you got to learn to use your mouth in a positive way. So Muhammad Ali said, I want to be the greatest, so I'm going to start saying it, and I'm going to say it long enough until I believe it. And of course, once I believe it, then I'm going to see it. And guess what? he said it long enough and loud enough, and, until finally he became that. Now that he's dead, people often say he's the what?
He was the greatest.
He's the greatest, right. So you got to learn to say, by the way, I've got something called Dr. Breakthrough's Law. Anybody ever heard of Murphy's Law? Anybody ever heard of Murphy's Law? Say, I have. Well, guess what? I was driving down the highway one time, Brian, and I pulled over the side of the road and I opened up the passenger door and I yelled at the top of my lungs, get out. I'm sure people driving looking like, well, wasn't nobody sitting over there, right? I like, get out. You know what I did? I kicked Murphy out of my car. I got home, I kicked him out of my house, and I kicked him out of my mind, because Murphy's Law, anything bad that can happen will happen, and it will happen at the worst possible time. I can't stand that law. And I, I was like, I'm tired of it happening to me. So I said, I'm going to come up with my own law, and it's called Dr. Breakthrough's Law. Can I give you Dr. Breakthrough's Law? Uh-oh, did I lose you?
Nope, there you go. Say it again.
Okay, I said, hey, I got tired of living by Murphy's Law, so I wrote my own law. It's called Dr. Breakthrough's Law. Is it okay with you if I give you my law?
Yeah.
Here's Dr. Breakthrough's Law. Anything good that can happen will happen, and it will happen at the best possible time. And I say that to myself over and over. Everything good that can happen will happen, and it will happen at the best possible time. See if you can say that with me. Ready? Everything good that can happen will happen, and it will happen at the best possible time. Come on, say that with me one more time. Everything good that can happen will happen, and it will happen at the best possible time. You say, now, Dr. Stan, Dr. Breakthrough, does everything good always happen? Well, no, but the more I say it, the more it changes my perspective, so that the things that seem like they're bad, I see the good in it. How many of you have ever had something happen to you that was bad, and then years down the road, you looked and realized, although that thing was bad, it produced something that was good in your life? Anybody other than me?
Yep.
Well, guess what? So I said, well, instead of having hindsight, let me have foresight, and let me start claiming it now. And I use my mouth. And I want you all to do this, my friend, for the next 21 days, at least 7 times a day. Say to yourself, and I even say it out loud. Why? Because the Bible says faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word. So when you speak a word out loud, you hear it, it'll help produce more faith. So again, my friend, I keep saying to myself, everything good, and the worse it seems to get, the more I say it, everything good that can happen will happen, and it will happen at the best possible time. So there's a man named Joseph that was sold by his brothers as a slave. He ended up being falsely accused and put in prison. And then he rose up to be the prime minister, the second in command. And when his brothers heard and came to, they didn't recognize it was him at first, but when they met with him and all of a sudden he revealed who he was, of course, they were thinking he's going to kill them now. And he says, you know what? Don't worry. You meant it for good. I mean, for bad rather, but God meant it for good, to save much people alive. So in other words, what you did, you meant it for evil, but God turned it around and used it for good. And it was evil of those teenagers to beat up a 6-year-old boy, to tar and feather him, to stomp all over him, throw him out in the middle. That was evil. But you know what? It ended up working for my good, because that's the thing that pushed me to say, I'm going to learn how to protect myself. And I got started in the martial arts, and the martial arts says, we got to teach you self-discipline before we teach you self-defense. And it was that self-discipline that changed my life forever. So again, you got to learn to use your mouth, my friend. They say it takes 18 positive comments just to offset 1 negative comment. Let me say it again. 18 positive to set off 1 negative. And here's the clincher. 83% of most of our self-talk is negative. Oh my goodness. So you know what? I had to learn to use my mouth. See, I had to learn to stop saying, here's amazing things. Bad things happen. People say, I knew that was going to happen. I don't do that anymore. Something good happens, I say, I knew that was going to happen. Something bad happens, I say, I don't believe that happened. No way, man, I am shocked. No, see, I'm shocked now when something so-called bad happens, and now I'm expecting something good to happen. So I'm telling you, I want you to say that to yourself out loud. Again, make sure people aren't around other than today, right? but walk around saying everything good. And by the way, it works better if you say it while you're walking, while you're moving, because there's something about the brain and moving and activity. So I walk and I say everything good that can happen will happen, and it will happen at the best possible time. And you know what I'm doing? I'm setting myself as a magnet. I'm setting my expectation. And now I'm telling you things. I start seeing better things happening, and same thing can happen for you. So say it with me one more time. We're going to say everything good that can happen will happen, and it will happen at the best possible time. Come on, say it with me. Ready? Everything good that can happen will happen, and it will happen at the best possible time. So if God Almighty created every with his mouth, except when he came to us, but he said, let there be light, and there was light. And then he said to us, we're made in his image and his likeness. To some degree, your words have creative power. Now, your words don't create things, but your words help to create faith. And when you have faith, faith creates things. Ooh, that's good, Dr. Breakthrough. That's good. So let's move on. Time's running out here. You have been a great audience. So if you're going to go from being a mess or mediocre to a master, we said, first of all, it's going to take mentorship. It's going to take, number 2, a mental shift. Number 3, misery. Number 4, methods. Number 5, your mouth. And number 6, mastery. Say that with me. Number 6, it's going to take what? Mastery. See, mastery, here's what happens. People think they know something just because they're acquainted with something. You don't know a lot of things. You're just aware of some things. So watch this. Let me give it to you this way. The master has failed more times than the student has ever dreamed to dare or dared to dream of attempting. The master has failed more times than the student has dared to dream of attempting. See, that's the difference. See, mastership means you don't do something once, you do it over and over and over and over and over again and over and over. And in the martial arts, I said sensei. That means teacher, Japanese word for teacher, instructor. Teacher, sensei, I got it. He said, no, you don't have it. I said, no, sensei, I got it. He said, no, you don't. I said, no, I can do it with my eyes closed. He said, that's not good enough. I'm like, excuse me? He said, no. I don't want you doing it just with your eyes closed. You got to keep doing this to where you can do it without even thinking. It's got to be in your subconscious till it's like an instant reflex without you even thinking or trying or attempting. And so he said, keep on doing it. Wow. So somebody said this, don't fear the man. There's no such thing as this, but it's a great quote. Don't fear the man or the woman who can do 10,000 kicks. Fear the man or woman who has done one kick 10,000 times. Wow. That's mastery. Mastery is when you keep doing it over and over again. And the problem is, my friend, the problem is we don't have many people who are working on mastering things, and that's why you'll never become a master. So you got to be willing to do it over and over again. You got to be willing to sit in a conference like this over and over again. You got to be willing to watch the videos over and over again. You got to be willing to read the books over and over again. You got to be willing, my friend, to not just read it, but to read it to the point where you start implementing and start doing it. And it's called mastery. Help me out. It's called what?
Mastery.
Thank you very much. And last thing, and we'll be done. By the way, before I get to, let me say this. It's crazy that some people feel that 2 to 5 years in business is a long time to get rich, but don't feel like 40 years on the job is a long time to stay broke. Oh, come on, somebody.
That's good.
By the way, anyone who tells you that you can succeed without work is probably trying to sell you something that won't work. Come on now. Paul Meyer said that. So it's going to take some work. Mastery is going to take some work. It's going to take a lot of work. Matter of fact, in the martial arts, we not just had to do something, but we had to do it even more after we thought we knew it. Wow. That's called mastery. Wow. Now, oh, what did I just do? Okay. Okay, there we go. All righty. And then, is my thing going to work? Okay, there it is, number 7. Money. Number 7 is going to take what? Oh, come on, a little louder. It's going to take what?
Money.
See, it's amazing to me. Everybody wants to make money, but not a whole lot of people are willing to invest the money. Oh, see, I've never met anyone who's mastered anything that it didn't cost them something. Wow. See, here's the thing, my friend. It's going to cost. See, in the martial arts, after I work out and practice, and then they test you. Do you know the test isn't free? Do you know that? You have to pay to be tested. You know what I love about this, though? When they test you knowing that you will pass. They don't test you until they think you're already ready. Come on, somebody. And in life, you don't have a test unless God believes you're ready. But sometimes I know if you're like I am, it seems like, let's see here. Are you still hearing me okay?
We can still hear you. We just don't see your video or slides right now.
Oh, okay. What about now?
Yep, we see you now. We don't see your
Okay,
slides.
thank you.
Reshare them, but that's fine.
Oh, you see me, but not my slides.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm better than my slides. What's up? Okay.
You're good.
You don't need to slide when the real deal is there. I'm the real deal Holyfield. Okay. What about now? What do you see now?
Yep, now we see them.
We're good.
We see you and your slides now.
Hey, that's double. Come on now. Okay, so last thing it takes is money. Okay. So let me hear you say money.
Money.
All righty. Now, watch this. Benjamin Franklin said, if you empty your wallet into your mind, he said your mind will fill your wallet. How many of you would like your wallet, your bank account, your pocketbook to be filled? Say, I would. Well, Benjamin Franklin said before that happens, first be willing to empty your wallet, your pocketbook, your bank account into your mind, and then your mind will fill your wallet. They said to Warren Buffett in hard economic times, they said, Mr. Buffett, what should we invest in? He said, oh, that's simple. They said, what? He said, invest in yourself. Yep. So listen, my friend, in this business, it's not, some people get it mixed up. They think it's shelf development. No, it's self-development. It's not how many books you have on the shelf. It's not how many CDs you have on the shelf. It's how many you not just get them, you not just purchase them, but you implement them. Question, how many of you would like to double your success? Raise your hand and say, that's me. Okay, if you want to double your success, you have to triple what you circulate in personal development. Let me say it again. In order for you to double your success, you got to triple what you circulate in personal development. Now, that word circulate is something my beautiful wife, Nadia, I call her, by the way, my ABCD. Can I tell y'all what ABCD stands for?
Sure.
ABCD stands for Adorable Brown Caramel Delight. Yes. Matter of fact, we were at a restaurant not long ago. The guy said, would you like some dessert? I said, no, sir. I bought my dessert with me, 100% natural, no GMOs. But anyway, my wife, she's not just beautiful on the outside. She's literally more beautiful on the inside. She's the kindest, nicest person I ever met. And but she's brilliant also. When we first got married, and of course, any guy that marries this beautiful, gorgeous woman, he knows it's going to cost him. Now, I gladly pay, right? Don't get me wrong. But we got married. She said, now, baby, we don't want to spend money. I was like, whoa, yes, I hit the jackpot. I married a beautiful woman. She talking about she don't want to spend no money. She said, wait a minute, I ain't done yet. I said, okay. She said, baby, we don't want to spend money. We want to circulate our money. I said, well, that sounds pretty good, but what does that mean? She said, when you spend money, it's gone, never to return. When you circulate money, she said, it goes out and it comes back, a never-ending cycle of increase in enjoyment. I was like, ooh, from now on in the Harris household, we're going to find ways that we can circulate the money we have where it goes out, but it comes back. And I'm telling you, my friend, it's a life changer. So when we talk about mastery and personal development and growth, see, everybody wants a big business, but you got to grow you first for your business to grow. Matter of fact, write this down. get this, if your money or your business grows bigger or before you do, okay, write that down. If your money or your business grows bigger or before you do, it will have to shrink back down to where you are. Oh, come on now. I said, if your money, you ever know somebody have a whole lot of money and all of a sudden then they don't have any? You know, somebody wins the lottery or gets an inheritance, a few years later, they're more broke than they were before that. You know why? Because their money grew, but they didn't grow. So watch this, my friend. That's why there's troubles and heartaches that you have to go through. Why? It's making you grow, because if you don't grow, you won't be able to handle the blessings that are coming. So watch this, my friend. So if your money or your business grows bigger or faster than you, unfortunately, it'll have to shrink back down to where you are. So that's to make sure we grow first. And that's what the Dr. Breakthrough personal training is all about, my friend. It's all about helping you to grow. So watch this, my friend, because when you grow, watch this. And if you grow big and faster than your money and your business will have to grow to catch up with you. Let me say that again. I said, when you grow faster and bigger than your money and your business, then eventually your money and your business will have to grow. See, I started growing and growing and growing and growing. And guess what? That's why my business grew to 1.5 million people. Why? Because I was a 1.5 million person. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Well, guess what? It not just makes sense, it makes dollars. I was speaking with Les Brown said this. We were speaking together, as I mentioned, in the UK, and he said this. He said, information costs, but it pays for itself 10 times over. Let me say it again. He said, information costs, but it pays for itself how many times over? 10 times over. I don't know about you, that's a great investment for something to bring tenfold. So watch this. So I'm telling you this, and that is this. Write this down word for word, and this will change your life for the rest of your life. If you're ready to write, say, I'm ready. Now, if you're ready not just to write, but to also start implementing it, say, I'm double ready.
I'm double ready.
All righty, here we go. The cost of a thing, is minuscule and compared to the cost of not getting the thing. Ooh, come on now. When we're talking about personal development, we're talking about growing. The cost of the thing, of the training program, of the coaching, whatever it is, the cost of the thing is minuscule compared to the cost you pay in not getting the thing. You say, say, Doc, what are you talking about? Okay, I'll explain. Let me ask you this. How many of you believe that you're worth at least, say, $1 million, okay? How many of you feel like you're at least worth making $1 million? Raise your hand if you feel like, you know what I mean? Raise your hand up high. Let me see. Okay, I can't see any hands raised. I see you know what? Stand up if you feel like you're worth at least $1 million. That you should be able to. Now, again, I'm not talking about money for yourself. I mean, you want to support others, you want to do, but you feel like, I'm worth at least, I'm worth that I could make $1 million. I believe I could do that. Let me see, stand up. Okay. All right, now I can see you. Give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand. Okay. Okay, you may be seated. I just want to make sure you were standing up for yourself. You can be seated now. Thank you. I'm almost done. So here's what I'm saying. If you believe you're worth making $1 million, I want you to grab a piece of paper and I want you to write down. Now, don't let anybody else see it, right? You don't want to. So just write down by yourself. Remember when you was in school, you scared the guy going to cheat, so you kind of cover up. So write down how much money you made last year. So if you made 30,000, 50,000, 100,000, just write the number down. 55,000, 120, whatever you make, So write that number down, and when you got it written down, say, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I want you to subtract that amount from $1 million. So subtract that amount from $1 million. So let's just say you made 50,000 last year, but you know you're worth at least $1 million. So that means, watch this now. Listen carefully. Life has been costing you $950,000 every year that you don't pay the price to learn how to make that $1 million that you're worth. Oh! Oh! So you understand what I'm saying? The cost of a thing is minuscule in compared to the cost that you pay for not getting the thing. That coaching program, that seminar, that book series, whatever it is that will get you. So again, if you feel like you're worth it, and some of you know you're worth way more than that, but again, if you feel like you're at least worth $1 million, and if you made 100,000 last year, that means life is costing you $900,000 every year that you don't learn that thing you need to learn. If you made 250,000 last year, that's great, but that means life has been costing you $750,000 a year. How long are you going to allow yourself to be so far below what you know you should have? And it's not just, I know if you're like me, it's not just for you. You got family members that need help. You got people in your community. There's homeless people many of you could feed if you had more money. There's things you can do, my friend. There's a legacy you can leave. I'm saying this, the cost of the thing is minuscule in compared to the cost of not getting, not investing, not circulating in that thing. So I just want to close out with this. You've got what it takes, but it will take everything you got, okay? Now, I need you to say that with me, but I want you to make it personal. So if you're Brian, you're going to say, Brian's got what it takes, but it will take everything Brian's got, right? Somebody else yell out your name out there. Give me a name.
Right.
Say it again.
Right.
Did he say Brian or Rob?
Right.
Okay, it's got a reverberation. What is he saying, Brian?
Names. We've got Pat and Tom.
Okay, wait. So Pat. Okay, say it again.
We got Pat and
okay,
Rolf and Tom and Julie. There's a Jason, an Abby, Janie, Grant. We got a Mike and a Jason.
Man, okay. Well, all of y'all. So Jason. So Jason. So you got to learn to say Jason's got what it takes, but it will take everything Jason's got. And I tried to write it with a magic marker thing, and it's one of those highlight things. So I can't even read what I tried to write down. Okay, so Mary's got what it takes, but it will take everything Mary's got. So whatever your name is, I want you to put it in there. Like so I'm going to say with my name, Stan's got what it takes, but it will take everything Stan's got. Okay, everybody, on the count of three, say it with your name. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Stan's got what it takes, but it will take everything Stan's got. All righty. That was mass confusion, but we said it. Come on, somebody. All righty. So real quick. So your time as a caterpillar has expired. Your wings are now ready. How many receive that? Say, I do.
I do.
So it's time for you to fly. So I want you to take my 21-day breakthrough challenge, where I took 43 years of my best teaching, thought process, preaching on breakthrough. I distilled it down painstakingly into 21, 3 to the longest one is 7-minute videos. On average, it's about 4.5 minutes. So everybody's busy these days, but watch this, my friend. But I call it a new approach to breakthrough. It's called micro coaching. So for 21 days, each day, I'm going to give you a powerful little, again, 43 years of my life distilled down into 21 videos. Of course, you heard that it's been said that it takes 21 days to establish a new habit, 21 days to stop an old one, right? Well, 21 days breakthrough challenge. We have people that have been getting breakthrough after break. I had a guy that didn't even have the money to start. So I said, look, just give me a down payment. And by the time he finished it, That's before I had it all online. By the time he finished it, he manifested an unexpected check. Now, we're saying in 21 days. He expected an unexpected check for over $20,000. He got so excited, he sent me a copy of it. And he said, man, I not only can pay you off, but I'm going to buy everything you have. I'm saying, listen, we got people getting marital breakthroughs. There's 18, one of the lessons is 18 different areas in which you can get a breakthrough. So the 21-day breakthrough challenge has been changing people's lives, and I'm committed to empowering 1 million people to experience at least one or more breakthroughs in 21 days through this 21-day breakthrough challenge. And so, my friend, I want you to take the challenge. I want you to allow me to empower you. So first of all, this number here, you can see 646-653-1831. Write that down. That's 24/7 brief breakthrough info. You can call. I'll give you a quick little 3.5 minute on the breakthrough. And then if you're ready to be an action taker, come down here where it says theinternetmentor.com, theinternetmentor.com. And that's the way you can get started with the 21-day breakthrough challenge, theinternetmentor.com. Okay? Now, so write down the number 646-653-1831, then write down theinternetmentor.com. I want you all, I'm going to give you my cell number, and I want you to text me personally. I'm finishing out now. I want you to send me a text. I'm going to send you, I just got a video testimonial of the most crazy thing ever, but a lady who took my 21-day breakthrough challenge, her and her husband just manifested an unexpected $112,000, something that happened to them through the 21-day challenge that caused them to do a certain thing, $112,000. She said, matter of fact, Dr. Breakthrough, I'm taking the challenge again. I said, well, I'm taking my own challenge again myself. But I want to send you that video. So I want you to text 717-275-3508 and just text Breakthrough Challenge. Put your name in it and just say Breakthrough Challenge, okay? So 717, everybody say it out loud, 717-275-3508. All righty. And how many, let me ask you a question. If I give you a crazy, unbelievable discount, how many of you think you'd like to take that 21-day breakthrough challenge? Anybody out there think you'd like to do something like that? Well, let me tell you this, and I'm going to be done. When I speak in the live meetings, I charge only $397. But you know what, my friend? Now you got to keep this secret now. Because you can't go online and say, Dr. Breakthrough, I got this $300. You can't do that, because then somebody else they say, wait a minute, I paid $397. So, but here's the thing, because of my relationship with Brian, and because also we're working to see if the company that I could be working and maybe become your breakthrough coach and maybe speak at some of your events or whatever else. So I'm gonna give you a crazy steal of a deal. Okay. So I want you, my friend, so you check out theinternetmentor.com, theinternetmentor.com, and I put in there, now when you go to the Internet Mentor, you got to sign in, you pick a username, password, and I've got several things you can buy, but you want to get the 21-day breakthrough challenge, and it should be in there for only $97, okay? So that's a special hit. It should be only $97. Instead of $397, it should be only $97. If for any reason it doesn't, or any reason, you just text me at 717-275-3508, and we'll send a special code to make sure you can get it at that price, my friend. And I believe it'll be a blessing to you. So again, this is Dr. Stan Harrison, known as Dr. Breakthrough. And I want to tell you something, my friend. I would love to be your breakthrough coach. I would love to empower you. See, I've dedicated my life to educating, elevating, and empowering people to break through any barrier that would hinder their success. And I do that by empowering people to break to the best version of themselves. Hey, that's my time. I'm done. I appreciate it. God bless you. And we'll see you not just at the top, over the top.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All righty. All righty. Send that text. Send it now.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank
All
you.
right. We'll see you. Thanks.